What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to 110 Football. He's Jerry Reynoso.
And he's Connor Kalopsis. On this episode of 110, we'll discuss Friday's tough loss to Orlando City and what's next for the Black and Gold.
We'll also show you my exclusive Zoom interview with LAFC forward Danny Musovski. You will not want to miss it.
This is the 110 Football Show.
And it starts right now.
It's kicking off in the world of football. From Boyle Heights to Koreatown and all through the 110 corridor. An LAFC fan show by two of their biggest fans. This is where true fans come to get their LAFC fix. So rally your crew and settle in. It's time for 110 Football.
Hey, Jerry, come on, man. Don't sweat it, you know? Although we did lose, there's some real positives to take from this tournament. I mean, we really stepped up without Carlos Vela, namely Diego Rossi, but others too, like Bradley Wright Phillips.
Yeah, bro, but to lose in penalty kicks like that, I mean, I feel like I'm being penalized, man.
You know, I can't lie, it does hurt a little bit. A little bit? No, it hurts a lot. But on top of that, it's Eli's last episode this week.
Don't remind me.
You know, but on a good note, here's some positives that may turn our frowns upside down. We didn't take Hallie to Orlando this week because we sent someone else in our place. Jerry, tell everyone who it is.
Well, how about we just showed him? Check it out. Vince Larosa is a well-respected journalist in the football world.
Inside LAFC, the podcast will feature Vince, who's Mr. Everything for LAFC. I said it, it's the cat's out of the bag. Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with it.
You got your finger on the pulse of the team.
I do.
Most notably recognized for his sharp tactical eye over 2+ seasons as LAFC's lead writer, creator, and co-host of the Inside LAFC podcast network. With the Black and Gold, he produced countless features such as The Anatomy of a Goal and Keys to the Match. Vince is a native of SoCal who believes professional football should only be played on natural grass. His love of the game came through heartbreak as Roberto Baggio's penalty sailed over the bar at the '94 World Cup. But he was hooked, following his beloved Juventus to the box scores in the back of Soccer America magazine. Now, from on-field player interviews to our studio, Vince Larosa brings his insights and talents to the 110 Football Show.
Thanks, Connor and Jerry. Give me the address of who wrote that intro, because I'm going to need to send them a big tip after that. And check this out. I'm in Orlando. This is awesome. I just got on the team. I'm already sent out here with the guys. Can't thank you enough. Let's get right into this. After a convincing but nervy 4-1 victory over Seattle, LAFC took on the quote-unquote home team in Orlando. Oscar Pereira's got his team playing a confident brand of football, and he really leaned into the momentum of that in that moment, allowing them to have the ball and saying, Nani, Mauricio Pereira, go out there, play in tight spaces, go at LAFC, and that's something that we're just not used to seeing with LAFC. Normally they have the ball for long periods of time, but Orlando said, no, we'll take it and we'll make you pay after playing 5 games in the last 18 days. The second thing that Oscar Pereira did, and I can't stress this enough, was tilting his formation ever so slightly. Send his right winger in a little bit to say to Cheeky Palacios, hey, do you want a 2v1 with your center back, or do you want to come out and get my right back, Ruan? Ruan took advantage of that space, always being the out man, always willing to be there in possession, and in the second half, he really took advantage when he got a run on Cheeky Palacios, forcing a penalty. We know that Nani missed that penalty, Kenneth Vermeer coming up big, but from there the tone was set and Orlando continued to wear out LAFC. We saw tired legs and missed chances, which resulted in that late corner, tying the match, sending it to penalties, and this time, Nani wouldn't miss, finishing off the penalty, sending an LAFC home. That's it from here in Orlando, guys. I'll start heading back. I was kind of hoping to take the desk ship, but it's fine. I mean, I can drive. I'll save all my receipts, but I'm gonna need validation.
Oh, I think you look nice today.
You're really good at announcing?
Thanks, guys. But I meant parking.
Oh, parking validation, not.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm fine. I'll drive back myself. That's it from Orlando. I'll see you guys when I get back to the studio.
Thank you so much, Vince, for your awesome insight. We'll see you next time in the studio.
Wait, why don't we just send Hallie to go get him?
I don't mind taking him, Connor.
You're a sports desk, Hallie, not a ride share, okay?
True.
Sorry. But besides, you have to send Eli to school in Syracuse once the show is done. Oh. Speaking of which...
Here's the man himself with his last in-studio report for now.
Thanks, Connor and Jerry, and now for my last in-studio MLS Weekly Report. The MLS is back. Quarterfinals gave us tons of action and even some upsets. Speaking of upsets, this one hurts, so I'm just gonna get it out of the way now. The clash between tournament host Orlando City SC and our black and gold. We broke this one down earlier in the show, so I won't say too much about it except for one thing. You cannot have written a better David versus Goliath script. Not only did LAFC blow their 1-0 lead in the last minute of the match, but Orlando's goal was scored by Joao Moutinho, who was traded from LAFC after his rookie season in 2018. Moutinho also converted a penalty in the PK shootout, ultimately leading to the downfall of LAFC. Final score of the shootout, 5-4. I'm not sure why many other MLS pundits consider Minnesota United to be the underdog against the San Jose Earthquakes. I had them as a favorite to win this match, and they didn't just win, they dominated. Minnesota caught San Jose's defense sleeping and had them scrambling early, scoring 2 goals in less than 2 minutes, thanks to Robin Lod and Ja'Cory Hayes. The Earthquakes were not able to overcome this deficit, continuing to allow Minnesota chances. Final score, Minnesota 4, San Jose 1. Orlando City will face off against Minnesota United on Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. On to the other side of the bracket, we have NYCFC versus the Portland Timbers. NYCFC came into this one as favorites after they surprised us all, defeating Toronto in the round of 16. The match started in their favor, earning, then converting, a pretty generous penalty. But NYCFC would eventually let this one slip through their hands thanks to Argentine duo Sebastian Blanco and Diego Valeri. Portland would go on to win this one 3-1. And now for my match of the week, the battle between Philadelphia Union and Sporting Kansas City. I knew this one would be the match of the quarterfinals as both teams line up pretty evenly. However, it was the Philadelphia Union who came out victorious in this one. The team struck first in the 24th minute in what was my goal of the week. At first glance, this goal looks like just a simple tap-in. But what makes this one stand out to me was the team effort it took to create it. Sergio Santos receives the ball, holds off the defender, and catches the deep run from Alejandro Bedoya, who squeezed through KC's back line. Bedoya drew SKC keeper Timule toward him before laying the ball beautifully across to the isolated Jamiro Montero for the easy lay-in. What a top-notch effort from Philly. Sergio Santos would then score 2 more goals for Philly before halftime and is my player of the week. Philly would win this one 3-1. They face off against Portland on Wednesday. That's it for my MLS Weekly Report. Gonna miss being here. Back to you.
Thanks, Eli. We're so glad that you're still going to be part of the show remotely.
Of course, but to be honest, I can use a break from a you-know-who.
Okay, while Eli shakes his stalker doll, here's our top 3 LAFC plays from the MLS Back tournament.
Diego Rossi, good penalty. And Rossi, and here comes Rossi for a hat-trick. Janela and Rossi, and the celebrations tell you LAFC have 6. This is right. Phillips with a tracer of a shot.
And the only thing Steve Clark can do is bend over and pick the ball out of the back of the net.
Twisted to the far side. Rossi! Diego Rossi, what a hit! Oh my goodness. Almost takes the net off with this one.
My personal favorite has to be Rossi's 4 friggin' goals against the Galaxy.
My favorite has to be BWP hitting that camera against Portland. I mean, what a screamer.
Eli's is probably Pavon's goal.
Now, before we show you Connor's Zoom interview with Danny Musovski, here's a closer look at the LAFC forward.
Prior to starting college, new LAFC forward Danny Musovski was named the Nevada Gatorade Player of the Year. as a high school junior.
Looks for the cross. It's got Musovski on the head. Danny Musovski.
And set the high school record for single-season goals as a senior at 58.
And Musovski and Danny Musovski puts it into the back of the net.
At UNLV, he scored 47 goals in 88 appearances.
You kidding me, Danny Musovski?
He was a two-time All-America selection, and as a senior, earned WAC Offensive Player of the Year honor.
Danny Musovski, there it is.
Musovski made 7 appearances for PDL side Burlingame Dragons FC in 2016 and scored 6 golazos. He was officially signed by the club on March 1st, 2018, and immediately sent on loan to San Jose's USL affiliate, Reno 1868 FC, alongside Mohamed Dia.
And it's a goal for Reno, and it's Musovski with a brace.
Musovski made his pro debut as a second-half sub for Chris Wehan in Reno's 3-4 loss to Swope Park Rangers on March 17, 2018. He scored his first professional goal in only his second appearance on March 24, 2018, in a 1-1 draw with Las Vegas Lights FC.
It's followed up and scored! Danny Musovski!
A match from which he was also later ejected. He made his debut for the club on July 13, 2020, against the Houston Dynamo in the MLS's back tourney. He also made an appearance in the 6-2 rout against the Galaxy, and in the quarterfinal loss to Orlando City. The MLS's back tournament may be over for the black and gold, and 2020 regular season remains unclear. But one thing is for sure, touted forward, Danny Musovski is a big part of LAFC's future.
Wow, what a feature, guys, and what a player Danny is. If you like what you saw there, you're gonna like this even more. Because of the MLS's back tournament, we landed our first ever LAFC player interview. Check this out. How's it going, Danny?
It's going good. It's going good so far in the bubble. Nothing to complain about.
Great. I mean, it's good to meet you. You are actually our first ever player interview, so I'm very excited to, first of all, meet you. And for people who don't know, signed with LAFC in December. Kind of a belated welcome. How has your experience so far been with LAFC, especially coming in with certain expectations?
When I first came to LAFC around January, I had surgery. The pandemic and the break kind of helped a little bit because it gave me a little bit of extra time to heal up from that. And the players, and they've all welcomed me, really good since I've been here. They've made me feel part of the team, and they've made that transition a lot easier for me.
Did you have any prior thoughts coming into the team? For example, like, Carlos Vela was this amazing player that in reality, he's just one of the guys.
Yeah, in terms of Carlos, they have that star power, but Carlos really is just like one of the guys. Obviously, you admire and respect him, but he acts like one of the guys on the team. That just shows how humble he is.
You haven't had the experience to play in front of the 3252 yet, and so are you excited to play in front of them?
How could you not? The 3252 is crazy, so I mean that's definitely something I want to do. Hopefully, when we have fans back, I could do that. But for right now, playing with no fans, it kind of just feels like a youth game. You hear all the coaches perfectly clear, so it's a little weird, but definitely want to play in front of the 3252.
Now becoming, a full-time professional player, what would you say is your top experience, top moment as a professional?
That's a tough one. Probably my game winner against Portland. It was my rookie season. We were playing Portland Timbers 2, and I ended up scoring 2 goals, and one was in the 90th minute to win that game. But yeah, I mean, this is only my 3rd year as a professional, so I want to keep making memories like that. Hopefully I'll create some great memories here with LAFC.
So you've gotten your first 2 appearances, first of all against Houston. How are you developing not just yourself but with the team as this year has progressed?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think a part of it's building chemistry and training. So, I mean, we had this whole preseason before this tournament. I don't know before any game, what time I'm going in. Every minute of that game, I got to be ready to, hear my name get called. And I just want to make the most of it. So I want to create chances, and whether it's 10 minutes or if it's 90 minutes, I'm ready for either one.
And you were speaking on chemistry and now being in the bubble and being so close to your teammates. What fun experiences have you created in the bubble? Because I know, you have a lot of free time.
Yeah. I mean, the bubble, that could bring everyone closer together because we're all here. There's nothing really to do. But we've all I think everyone on the team's gotten closer since we've been here in the bubble.
Glad to hear that the team's gelling on and off the field. Excited to see what else you can help provide the team. And yeah, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
That was a nice interview, bro. Danny's already making his mark on the squad, and I have no doubt he's going to be a big part of LAFC's future success.
Hey, guys, listen up. It's now my privilege to introduce former player and expert analyst Benny Feilhaber with his thoughts on last Friday's heartbreaking loss to Orlando.
Today we're going to talk about how LAFC can improve going forward into the regular season. And unfortunately for LAFC, the MLS's back tournament ends at the quarterfinals at the hands of Orlando City in a penalty kick shootout. It was disappointing, but looking back at the tournament, I was very pleased with some of the things that I saw with LAFC. And so there's plenty of positives to talk about and a couple of things that we can talk about to improve the team to look forward to the regular season. First, Diego Rossi. This man has been on fire. And I, for one, was very curious to see how he would react without Carlos Vela, the MVP, alongside him in the attack. And he's been brilliant. He's scored goals, he's assisted, he's been active. He probably could have even had a few more goals. But having said that, very, very positive and very pleased to see how well he's been doing without Carlos by his side. Secondly, the midfield trio. This has been a staple to LAFC since year one, and Marc-Anthony Kaye, Edward Atuesta, and Latif Blessing have been sublime in the midfield. They've dominated possession. They've been able to create scoring opportunities. They've scored some themselves. And so Bob's got to be very pleased with what he's seen with those three, again, without the MVP on the field. What are some things that LAFC need to work on to make sure that they can get back to the top where they belong to be? Set pieces, and that's fresh in everybody's mind. Obviously, João Moutinho, ex-LAFC player, comes in to haunt everybody's dreams with that last-minute goal to equalize it and then send Orlando through in penalties. And knowing Bob, he's going to be methodical in changing a few things, not much, in the organization of the defensive set pieces to make sure that kind of stuff does not happen again. Secondly, is LAFC need to find better ways to ice the game. When they're up 1-0, they need to make it 2. When they're up 2-0, they need to make it 3. Give themselves that cushion to not have to wait until the last minute in the dying seconds to defend at all costs. If they have that cushion, they'd win that game. And they had some chances to put it away, so they're creating those opportunities. Just got to find a way to put it in the back of the net. That's it. Those are the only things that I can see, and I think LAFC are going to be fine in the regular season, and it's going to be exciting to see that team, especially with Carlos coming back, to be able to perform at the high level that they're used to.
And that's it for this episode of 110 Football. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Vince, Danny, and Benny. Sadly, LAFC will not advance in the tournament, but we will continue to bring you LAFC content, sketches, expert analysis, and much, much more.
That's right. So join us next Thursday for our post-tournament show, and make sure to check us out on Instagram and Twitter at 110 Football TV. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
For 110 Football, he's Jerry Reynoso.
He's Connor Kalopsis.
He's Eli Messer.
She's Campbell Kalopsis.
He's Omar Reynoso.
He's Vince Larosa.
He's Benny Feilhaber.
I'm Benny Feilhaber.
And
see you next time on the 110.
And now it's my privilege to throw to former player and expert analysis, Benny Feilhaber, with his thoughts on... And now it's my privilege to once again introduce former blah, blah, blah. And now it's my privilege once again to throw to... I got this, boys. Ready for this? Ready? Watch this. On his thoughts against Friday's...
It's an off day.
Expert analyst Benny Feilhaber with his thoughts on last Friday's heartbreaking loss against Orlando. You hear me? Watch that back. It looks like I'm having a mental breakdown.